I'm Reynir Hutber. I'm an artist based in northwest London. This is my exhibition called Stay Behind the Line. Stay Behind the Line is actually a piece that I first made for the Catlin Art Prize in 2010. It's kind of an ethical experiment, so it gives people the opportunity to interact with a kind of mirage, a kind of digital illusion, which is a performance which I would have recorded probably within 24 hours of the exhibition opening. I record myself in a specially designed structure, which is something in between a kind of a white cube gallery space and a kind of detention cell. And in that piece I use a video technique to combine the recording of my performance with a live relay of viewers entering the space of the audience. One of the issues that I was interested in with Stay Behind the Line was the idea of being a remote witness and our kind of complicity as witnesses. And that seemed to also kind of spill over into a conversation about performance art and certain performance art practices. And I was also very interested in in how we read surveillance and how surveillance differs from other kind of video formats, how we immediately recognize it as being somehow separate. And it occurred to me that there was something we don't expect surveillance video to be manipulated. There's something kind of sacred about it, and I think it's because of its relationship to evidence and legal processes. Magic does interest me, magic and illusion, and I do a lot of research into the way illusions are constructed to make them as convincing as possible. And I think when I was younger I really would have liked to have been a magician. And I also I always feel that emerging technology always feels kind of magical. There's always something sort of wondrous about it, and then it can be sort of deconstructed slowly in the same way that a magic trick can. You can unpack the mechanics of it and demystify it. I've created 3 new pieces for my exhibition at Grand Union. They were all created in a way in response to the space. Painter, that's a 1-to-1 scale projection which is projected back onto the wall where it was filmed, and the video is of me simply painting the wall white. So there's kind of a nice reflexive loop there, is that I'm sort of preparing a space for a work to exist, and the work is in itself the projection. When you enter the gallery, you realise that a kind of strange sound is emanating from behind a locked door, and in that locked door there's an observation window. And then later on in the exhibition you encounter a TV screen which is connected to an infrared camera which is inside the cell and which is also pointed back at the observation window. So although when you look into the cell you're effectively blind, when you see the screen you can see very clearly everything that's in the room, including people looking in. In the piece Stay Behind the Line there's a please don't touch sign, and I mean that's both practical but also has maybe a more poetic reading where it becomes the voice of the image or seems to be part of a language of abuse. Similarly, there are no photography signs everywhere, and I was interested in, it's not that I have a particular interest in people not taking photographs of my exhibition, it was more that I was thinking of areas where photography is restricted and visibility is restricted. And I thought about the art institution and the military centre and other kinds of detention centres where there's information that needs to be contained, visual information. So I'm interested in creating a sense of in-between spaces, or spaces which can read in more than one way, and I was interested in sort of commonalities between institutions, and not only the way that institutions come to resemble each other visually, but also in the way they kind of enforce power structures.